Welcome back, my dear students, our plus one English online class. Today we discuss the topic The Price of Flowers by Prabhat Kumar Mukhopadhyay that we completed. Today we are going to discuss its textual questions and activities. Let's begin. See, question number 1. Why was the narrator's attention drawn to the English girl? Why? Come on. The narrator's attention was drawn to the English girl because she had been watching him with interested surprise, but she turned her eyes away as soon as he looked at her. She was 13 or 14-year-old. From her clothes, one could guess she was a poor girl. She had large eyes which had a sad expression. Okay, that is the first question. Second one, what is your impression of the girl? What is your impression of the girl? Answer, she is a teenager from a poor family. She had large eyes with a sorrowful expression when she saw the narrator. Some ideas came to her mind, and that is why she watches him so closely. Then she tries to find out if he is an Indian and if he comes to that particular restaurant all the time. Something about Indians has got into her mind, and she is trying to clarify her doubts. She is a polite girl who thanks people even when some small service is given to her. Okay, that is the second one. Then third one, how do you know that the girl was interested in knowing the identity of the narrator? Come on. I know the girl was interested in knowing the identity of the narrator from the fact that she watched him with interested surprise. Later, she asks the cashier whether the narrator was an Indian and whether he comes to the restaurant every day. Okay, that's it. Next one, what do you understand about the probable financial condition of the girl? Okay, the girl is from a poor family, and that we can guess from the dress she is wearing. She has large eyes which have a sad expression. The waitress says that she comes to the restaurant only on Saturday for her lunch because Saturday is the payday. On the other days, she does not take lunch because she has no money. She is working in a nearby shop, maybe for a very small pay. As she is a teenager, nobody would hire her for a big salary. Okay, that's it. Next one. Why was the narrator curious about the girl? What did he do to meet her? The narrator was curious about the girl because he found she was curious about him. She asked the cashier if he was an Indian and if he came to the restaurant every day. From the waitress, he had come to know that the girl works in a nearby shop. So, to meet her, he looked into the shops on the streets near St. Martin's Lane and the shops on the Strand, but he could not trace her. Then he met her in the restaurant again on the next Saturday during lunchtime. Okay, next one. Why did the narrator go to the restaurant again? The narrator went to the restaurant again in the hope of the meeting the young girl, English girl. He was told by the waitress that the girl came to the restaurant on Saturdays for lunch. Next one, what impression did the girl have about India? The girl thought that India was a dangerous country full of tigers, snakes, and furs. This is the impression she got from people. Next one, was Maggie satisfied with her job? If not, why? Maggie was not satisfied with her job. It was a mechanical job. She wanted to have job to make use of her head, her brain. She would like to be a secretary. Next one, what do you understand by brain work? By brain work, I understand those type of work which need some thinking. We in India often call brain work as white collar jobs. The next one, why did Maggie ask the narrator whether he was a vegetarian? Why he asked? Maggie asked the narrator whether the narrator was a vegetarian to find out if he was a yogi. She had heard that yogis do not eat meat and they have occult magical powers. Okay, the next one. Why did Mr. Gupta go to Maggie's house? Mr. Gupta went to Maggie's house because she invited him. She wanted to introduce him to her mother, who wanted to meet an Indian to find out the truth about the stories she had heard about India. Moreover, Mr. Gupta had developed some liking and sympathy towards Maggie and was willing to help her in any way possible. Okay, next one. What do you understand about the living condition of Maggie and her mother? The living conditions of Maggie and her mother were very poor. They lived in a small village in the Lambeth area where people lived. Here, streets are above the ground, kitchens are often below street level. They had very cheap furniture, and that too was very little. The carpet was very old and torn in many places. Maggie's mother baked cakes and sold them for a living. Next question, why is Saturday special to Maggie and her mother? Saturday is special to Maggie and her mother for two reasons. It is Maggie's payday, on which she can enjoy a meal in a restaurant. Saturday night is a time of festivity in poor neighborhoods like Lambeth. It is a day when the poor are able to spend a little as they receive their wages. Maggie's mother bakes cakes and sells them on Saturdays, and that is how they make a living. So, Saturday is special to both of them. Okay, next one. How did Mr. Gupta describe India to Mrs. Clifford? Mr. Gupta said that India was a beautiful country. It is not cold like England, but is somewhat hot. Of course, there are tigers and snakes in India, but they live in the jungles. If they came to the places where people live, they get killed. There are fevers in some places in India, but they differ with the places and seasons. Who is Francis? What do you know about him? Francis or Frank is the brother of Maggie and son of Mrs. Clifford. They both love him dearly. He is in the Punjab, in the regiment fighting on northwest frontier. He loves his mother and sister. He has sent her sister a book of pictures of Simla and the surrounding mountain country. He is superstitious. He also sent her a crystal ring saying that it was given to him by a yogi. The yogi had told him it was a magical ring if somebody looked into the crystal, thinking of a person who is far away. He can see the person and what she is doing. Maggie and Mrs. Clifford often looked into the crystal ring, but they never saw Francis. Finally, we come to know that Francis was killed in war and was buried at Fort Monroe near Daragasi Gun. Maggie wants the narrator to place some flowers on her brother's grave when he goes to India and she pays him a shilling for that. It is from this sacrificial act of hers that the story gets its title. Okay, next one. What is your opinion about superstitions? Do you believe in any? Superstitions are bad, but they are rampant in the society. Superstitions are often connected with religious beliefs, and some unscrupulous people exploit the believers by feeding them with superstitions. Some people believe that if a black cat crosses your way, the work for which you are going will not be done. It is stupid to believe in superstitions. I don't believe in any. I believe in God, but not in the superstitions. I traded in His name. Then next one. Describe the incident that touched the narrator deeply. Maggie had a violin and she learned to play some songs with her own efforts. She could not go to any teachers to learn violin because of the lack of money. Her mother knows that Maggie has talent for playing violin. She tells the narrator that if ever their circumstances improved, she would send Maggie to have violin lessons. This incident deeply touched the narrator's heart. Okay, next one. Why was Maggie unable to go to work? Maggie was unable to go to work because her mother was seriously sick. Since there was nobody in the house to look after her sick mother, she could not go for work. Why did Mr. take some money with him when he went to see Mrs. Clifford? Mr. Gupta took some money with him when he went to see Mrs. Clifford because his hostess told him that since Maggie had not gone for work for a week and not received any pay, it was possible they were in financial trouble. In the letter Maggie wrote to him, she had mentioned that her mother was very ill and she was not able to go to work for a week. She had not asked for any financial help, but the hostess to whom the narrator spoke about the letter thought that Maggie and her mother might need financial assistance. Okay, then next one. Why did Mr. Gupta and Maggie tiptoe into the sitting room? Mr. Gupta and Maggie tiptoed into the sitting room because Maggie wanted to talk to him in private. They did not want to disturb the sick woman with her talk. Okay, next one. What request did Maggie make to Mr. Gupta? Maggie wanted Mr. Gupta to gaze into the crystal and tell her mother that Frank was alive and well even if he did not see anything in the crystal. Her mother was seriously sick and her sickness is aggravated by her worries about Frank, from whom she hasn't heard for long. If Mr. Gupta tells her that Frank is alive and well, it will help her to recover. Next one. Why was the crystal ring so special to Mrs. Clifford? The crystal ring was so special to Mrs. Clifford because it was sent by her son Frank from India. Frank had written that the crystal ring was given to him by a yogi. The yogi had told him that the crystal ring was the magical one. If somebody looked into the crystal thinking of a person who was even far away, he could see the person and what he was doing. Mrs. Clifford believed her son's words. Okay, next one. What made Mrs. Clifford recover. Mrs. Clifford's illness was aggravated because of her worries about her son Frank, from whom she had not heard for long. She did not know if he was alive and well. Maggie requested Mr. Gupta to look into the crystal ring and tell her mother that Frank was alive and well, even if he saw nothing in the crystal ring. Gupta did accordingly, and this made Mrs. Clifford recover from her illness. Okay, next one. Why was Mr. Gupta ashamed to face Mrs. Clifford? Mr. Gupta was ashamed to face Mrs. Clifford because Frank had been dead some days when he told her that he was alive and well. Since he had told her a lie, he was ashamed to face her. Next one. What was the promise given to Maggie? The promise given to Maggie was that the narrator, that is Mr. Gupta, would visit the grave of her brother at Mount Monroe near Daragasigan when he goes to India. Okay, that's it. Why did Maggie give a shilling to Mr. Gupta? Maggie gave a shilling to Mr. Gupta to buy flowers and place them on her brother's grave at Mount Monroe near Daragasigan when he goes to India. Next one. Explain the reason why Mr. Gupta accepted the shilling. Initially, Mr. Gupta wanted to give back the shilling to Maggie, telling her that there were plenty of flowers in India and he could get some flowers free to place them on her brother's grave. But this would deprive the girl of the joy of sacrifice she was making for her dead brother. So Mr. Gupta accepted the shilling. The grief in her heart would lessen with the sacrifice she was making. To earn a shilling, she had to do a lot of work. Activity 1. Read and respond. First one. It is neither the same everywhere nor the same all the year around in India. Why? Answer. India is a vast country with different climate zones, and it is not the same everywhere nor is it the same all the year around. Okay, that's it. Second one. Why did the narrator decide to take the shilling given by Maggie? The narrator decided to take the shilling from Maggie just to make her happy. She has sacrificed a lot to give him the shilling to buy flowers for her brother's grave. She will feel consoled when she has done something nice for her brother. Okay. Third one. Next one. What is the role of faith in the story? Faith plays an important role in the story. Mrs. Clifford believes that Indians can see things in a crystal. When the narrator tells her that he can see her son alive and well in the crystal, she recovers from her illness. Okay, that's all. Okay, activity 2. Discussion. Discuss the significance of the title, The Price of Flowers. Okay, this is very important one. You can expect 2 or 3 mark. For 3 mark, you can expect this type of question. This question, okay, surely asked to our upcoming examination. Okay, discuss the significance of the title, The Price of Flowers. Come on. The story is aptly titled The Price of Flowers. A young girl, impoverished and miserable, sacrifices a shilling for flowers to place on her brother's grave. The narrator does not want to destroy the kind gesture that the girl makes, for he knows it brings her a lot of consolation. Okay, a lot of consolation. That is the next one. Okay. Yes. So here all the textual questions and some activities that we discussed in this video. The coming video we can discuss its remaining portions, that is some textual activities we can discuss. Let's wind up here. hope you got the ideas about this questions and answers. Okay, thank you.